OverKnight Gamer here, and I want to talk about frame rate. There's just too many developers that put out games with subpar frame rates, and it pisses me off. So let's start this video by establishing what frame rate is and why it's so important for games. So as far as frame rate goes, it's just a collection of still images shown in rapid succession for the illusion of movement. Now, for film, the industry standard is 24 FPS or frames per second. That is normally the lowest and the highest films will use. However, in the case of The Hobbit, it was shot in 48 frames per second. Now, some artards think that the human eye can only see no higher than 24 frames per second, but that got proven very wrong with the extreme backlash of The Hobbit for filming in 48 frames per second. People actually complained about the movie looking too real. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Will people ever stop fucking complaining? Hell no. I mean, I'm doing it right now. For games, however, the standard is 30 frames per second. Anything lower just looks choppy, stuttery, and shitty. For games, 60 frames per second should be standard across all platforms. I read a lot of articles that game developers put out saying that they are targeting 30 frames per second. Are you fucking kidding me? Your target is 30 frames per second? If you can't lock 30 frames per second, then you need not to release your shitty fucking game until you can optimize it to do so. I mean, come on. I have a PS1 game that runs in 60 frames per second that was made in 1996. And you're telling me you can't hit 30? That's your target?
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Come on, this way.
Some developers, however, even on console, very rare, give you the option to either lock 30 or go up to 60. Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Remastered actually gave you that option. And the only graphical disparity that happened when it upped the frames was the shadows took a hit in detail. But that's okay. I can forgive the shadows. You don't praise the shadows. Shadows are awesome and cool and all, but that's not ultimately what you're looking at the whole time. But if shadows are your thing, if pretty graphics are your thing, it gives you the option to lock 30 frames per second instead of 60, and you get everything to look better. And see, now that's the thing. Most games should give me the option if it's that simple as a setting inside the game to switch it from 60 to 30 to 1080p to 720p upscaled. Either way, it's giving me the option to do so, and that's, better for gamers as a whole. Or, give me 1080p at 60. This game here, Paragon, is a free-to-play MOBA game made by Epic for PS4 and PC, and it's locked at 60 frames per second at 1080p. And it's a free-to-play game. What the hell? Like, all these $60 games can't get 1080p at 60, or 30 for that matter, and a fucking free-to-play game that's not even out of beta yet runs at 1080p at 60? God damn, when I played this game in alpha, it still ran at 1080p at 60. And, by the way, if you haven't, go ahead and try Paragon. It's pretty tits. Pretty tits. Oh, I haven't seen a pair of tits I haven't thought were pretty. Well, besides my grandma's, but let's not talk about that. Either way, give us the option. Us as gamers will appreciate all the developers a lot more if they just give us more options. Industry should be 60 and you want to target 30. Well, 30 frames per second is perfectly fine if it never dips past that. Now, if an extremely graphics intense game like Uncharted 4 can lock 30 frames per second at 1080p, then certainly more devs can do better. It's just utter bullshit these publishers are pushing developers to put unoptimized pieces of shit in our laps to make a quick buck. And we fucking eat it up. I mean, for fuck's sake, when shit-ass Call of Duty can run at 1080p at 60 frames a second and has since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare on PS3 in 2006, I think we can get 1080p at 60 on these new consoles.
Holy shit. She's infected.
I mean, 10 years ago we hit 1080 at 60. Why not now? We as gamers need to not give these devs a pass and force them to make better frame rates. Frame rates over everything in my book. I mean, come on, when Assassin's Creed Unity launched, it had such a turd-ass frames per second that the devs were forced to patch it, and they gave away all of the DLC for that game for free as an apology. Why do people want pretty graphics instead of a much smoother experience? Is everyone dumb or is it just me? Because it could be me. I mean, I'm not smart enough to realize how stupid I am, I guess. Just optimize your goddamn game, please. Now with that, I would like to end my rant. What do you guys think? Do you guys praise frame rate or are pretty graphics better for you? Let me have it in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, mush that like button and subscribe. It really helps. OverKnight Gamer, out!